All right, today we are learning about set notation and just how to use the symbols of set notation, and when we're doing it on with probability, and also use the conditional or the given probability, which we have talked about a little, but it's nice to have it set up. So we're just talking about general notation and Venn diagrams. Now we've done enough of those that this shouldn't be too bad. Set A would just be this. This little area here colored in. Okay, so what we're looking at is Venn diagrams and what the notation means to those. Instead of doing a problem for each one of them, just consider that there's two events, event A and event B, and we have to go over what it means for A and B, or this notation. So the little upside down U, that stands for intersection, or the word and that's where they overlap. So it's this little area right here is what intersection is. Okay. Or is what we like to also call the union. It's this symbol right here, or it's the word or that you see. Or means in either A or B, so it's this area, but also this area, all added together. And yeah, so there. So it's all of that area for the or. So we've talked about this again, but just as a visual, and know that this is the symbol here for or that we're working on. Okay, number 4 we have, or is the complement. The complement, sometimes they put a little C, or they put a little, C here, or they put a little prime kind of thing there. It's the complement or anything that's not in A. So if this is A here, it's everything that isn't in it. So it would be here and here. Well, of course, there. Oh, whatever. I got rid of B, but so it's all this, but everything but A. That is what the complement means, or the little prime. So you have to know these symbols. Well enough. Okay, so this one here says the complement of, so then we just do any combination of all of these. So if I do the complement of A and B, so this is A and B, and I just referenced this by showing you it right here. So it's everything that isn't, so again, remember the little box is everything. So everything that isn't in the intersection. This is all this stuff. Okay, anything but the intersection. So you just have to take it, figure out what you're doing. It's just like order of operations. Do the inside first. A or B is, again, just look above on the Venn diagram above. This is A or B. So it's everything that is not in A or B. There. Okay? So these are the symbols. We have the or, the and the complement. All right. And then when we use these in the probability. So it's not just what's in the set. Can I color in a Venn diagram? When we put the little P in front of it, we always want the probability. So it would be A intersection, how many values are in A intersection B over the total. Again, remember that's whatever probability is. It's always over the total until we get to today. Until we get to what's called conditional probability. So conditional probability is probability that an event occurs given that the first event has already occurred. So we already know something has occurred. So what that does is it changes the bottom number. The bottom number is no longer a total, and that's the easiest way I can point this out and show you how this works. There's two formulas. They're the exact same formula, but if you know the probabilities, it'll be something like this, and you can just put the probability of A intersection B over B. So this is, excuse me, the words, how you say this is you say the probability of A given B. It matters the order. So B is second. So B is the one that has been given. We already know. If we switch those around, it would be a completely different thing. So when we do the formula here, the second one is repeated. So the second one, we do the intersection with the first and the second, and then all over the second. Okay, that's if you know the probabilities. If you don't know the probabilities, then it's just the number of values. So A and B is the number of values. So you don't actually have to figure out probabilities every time. So it's the number of values in the intersection over the number of values in B. So if we do a problem like this, we'll do these many different ways. But initially, I'm going to do it with a Venn diagram and a table of values. So we have this situation here. Out of 32 people, 18 people play volleyball. And so we know this little thing is going to be 18. And 17 people play rugby. Okay, so doing this, it says 27 play volleyball or rugby. So the or, remember that's the union, the or, that's this total piece, all of these added together. Okay, but when I add 18 and 17 together, I get 35. So it should be 27. So remember what that means is that the overlap is 8. We have an overlap there. All right, so if I add all these up, I get 10, 8, and 9. I get 27. My total should be 32. So I know that I have 5 people out here that don't play rugby or volleyball. Okay, so I have this Venn diagram, and now I can answer whatever questions I have. So they want to know what the probability of V given R. Now, I don't know the probabilities here, but I can figure out the how many. So I want to do V and R, the intersection, over how many total are in R. So V and R, we just figured out that it's 8. Just rugby, well, it tells us up here 17. Okay, remember, we want the total that play rugby. All of them put together, not just rugby. That would be weird. That wouldn't even make sense. Okay, so that's how this works. So then here I want rugby and not volleyball over not volleyball. So you have to figure out how many people play rugby and they don't play volleyball. Okay, so rugby and they don't play volleyball, well, that would be just the 9. That would be the top number. And the bottom number is so this is V, so it's everything that's not in V. So let's change color here so this is V here. So anything that isn't V, so here and here, that's 14. Okay, so remember, the top one was RN, not V. So remember, these 8 play volleyball. So I want ones that don't play volleyball, so that would be just 9, and they play rugby. Okay, so 9 over 14. So this is the conditional probability. So take a second and fill in this